Hello subscribers, welcome to a live stream of AD&D's DFortae Remasters. We're going to play through all 5 games, hopefully. We're going to do an Iron Man run, and we're going to have all Thieves, Psionic Thieves. So this will be an interesting run, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to start with Pool of Radiance. I did release Champions of Krynn today, in case someone wants to play that. But we're going to start with Pool of Radiance. Then I'll have to figure out if I want to go to Gateway or Champions of Krynn next. I'll probably do Champions of Krynn, then Gateway, then Curse of the Azure Bonds, and then Secret of Silver Blades. So that will be our plan. Oh, whoa! We got lots of people here. We got Mystic Thurge. Welcome in, your first time chatter. How's everybody doing? Mr. Spock's in second, and Duncan's in third, and he has subscribed for 18 months now. Subscription scam. Tier 2 also. Thank you so much, Duncan. Really appreciate it. Mr. Spock says, took a break long enough from my Pool of Radiance run to watch. Okay, good. Woot woot. You're very excited about this, Mr. Spock? Nice. Mystic Third says, I just got the free Silver Box games through Prime Gaming. Nice. And Duncan says you'll go Gateway. You still fear the Bozaks and their stinking clouds. Yes, those are brutal. Yes. Hopefully I'll find at least 1 or 2 necklaces of adaptation. That would help tremendously. Hey, says Tam, welcome in. How are you doing? Okay. We've already got a lot of people to name the characters here. So my plan is I'm going to play through all 5 games. Like I said, I released Champions of Krynn today for public download. But I want to do an Iron Man run, and I want to have all Thieves. And they're all either going to be Psionic or some will be Psionic. So let's start with a halfling, because halflings, dwarves, and humans are the only ones that can be psionic. And thieves. What alignment do I want to do? I'm going to go do chaotic neutral. Duncan says, the party shall be safe. No blind Jimmy Hoopak causing trouble. No Jimmy Peltzer blowing the party up with inventions. Yes. Okay, first halfling. What do we want to do here? Let's do dagger and broadsword. Man, it's pretty sweet that halflings can have 19 con. But guess what? This is going to take a while because I am shooting for psionics. So this is probably going to take quite a while to create enough. If I end up getting amazing attributes, I won't go with a psionic potentially. Like if I can get 18 dex, 19 con, and like 16 or 17 strength, we're just going to keep that. So the most hit points we can get is 8 on level 1. That's assuming we have 16 con. That was decent, but we want 18 dex. Mr. Spock says you should have an option that just says roll until psionic, lol. Yeah, I could put in modify so that you can just modify to get psionics, but I didn't want to allow players to cheat that much. You can cheat on all the other attributes, so. Mystic Third says, what good are psionics in the first edition rule set? Oh my gosh. They're, depending on what kind of psionics you can get, can be really good. If you have 100 psionic points, you can do psionic blasts against non-psionics, which is super strong. Otherwise, there's a lot of psionic abilities that are just great. Like you can get body weapon. Here we go. This is an example. I'm keeping this. 17 strength, 17 wisdom, 18 dex, 19 constitution. You can't get much better than that. All right, Mystic, you were in the chat first, so you get a character named after you. Let's see if it fits. It does. Pre-made icons, yep. This is what it picked, and I'm fine with that. Keep. So even though not psionic, fantastic attributes. Look at that armor class of 5. So halflings are shorter, and so they get a 1 bonus armor class as well. So instead of starting with 6, he just starts with 5. Hey Tim, welcome in. How are you doing? Alright, let's do a human. We'll make them Catech Evil. Longsword, poison. This one will definitely get psionics. Yeah, there's a ton. They're called disciplines. There's minor disciplines in psionics, and there's major disciplines. And there's some really good powers. There's even some where you can start to cause someone's body to heat up, kind of like a microwave. In each round, it kind of exponentially causes more damage, and it has a really far range. There's some really cool ones. Man, we're getting some excellent rolls. You're doing pretty good. Glad to hear that, Tim. Yeah, the background change, yeah. I'll be on this laptop for another week or so, and then I'll be back on my desktop. Duncan says, Jimmy activates his Spectre detector, the machine malfunctions. And the entire party is drained 2 levels. Yes, he did have lots of backfires and failures. 17 psionic points, that is not enough. There's actually ones to heal. I'm hoping I get one of those. Since we're all thieves, it's going to be hard to... 11 dex on a thief, I don't think so. Hopefully you'll get lucky and get one with Detect Magic. Yeah, that's another useful one. Invisibility is good too, the psionic invisibility. It actually affects the enemies though. It doesn't work the same way as invisibility. Mr. Spock says, Tim just thought you were in your underground gold box bunker. Hey, Ron Reg, welcome in. How are you doing? Thank you, I appreciate that. Has anyone ever used the psionic rules at the tabletop? I have not. It would be pretty hard to do on the tabletop. Like, well, if you get into a psionic battle, but that would be extremely rare. If you're not in a psionic battle, it's not that hard actually. But if you have 2 psionics facing each other, that is a lot of rolling you're going to have to do. So we're doing an all thief run here, guys, with psionics for some. And this will be an Iron Man run through all 5 games. I released Champions of Krynn today for public download. The remaster. So we've got 5 games now. Before I start, I'm probably going to start on Death Knights of Krynn next. But I'll give it a little bit of time before I do that. Because I'm sure there's going to be some bugs and things I need to take care of. You're doing well. Glad to hear that, Ron. Just been busy with capoeira. What is that? Capoeira? Ron says, yeah, I looked at first edition implementation. Was like, this is too much. Yeah. I probably spent like 2 weeks of development time on that. Maybe even a little longer by the time I had to implement everything fully. Oh, my computer's fine. I'm just using this desktop right now, or this laptop right now. Dexterity is not enough. Are you getting a new gaming rig for these old games? No. No, this is just my laptop. Man, this was pretty good for a thief. I'm not doing it. I need Psionics. Otherwise, we're never gonna. Hey, Ham, welcome in. How are you doing? Are you looking down at us? Are we shrunk so tiny and you grew that huge overnight, or is it just cam placement? It's cam placement. It's my laptop. So I'm using the camera built into the screen. It has elements of dance, stretching. Hi there, Ruka Karn. Welcome to the stream. How are you? Says, what status com? It's comeliness. So think of it as physical beauty. It's your physical appearance, how attractive you are. It's it's similar to charisma. It's in Unearthed Arcana. I implemented all the rules in Unearthed Arcana. It mainly only applies to, well, it will apply eventually to when I add in hirelings and henchmen and all that stuff. But it applies to some psionic or illusionist type spells like Fascinate. Comeliness was a thing for that. Man, it's taken forever to get a psionic here. It's because Thieves' requirements are low, so I'm getting low intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores. Mr. Spock says Ron is a silver blade. Ron says, I vote for Psy Onik for one of the names. I would do it, Ron, but I'm doing people's names, followers' names. Ooh, here we go. So we won't build a psionic blast. Non-psionic people. You need 100 for that. But good dex, good con, decent strength. Let's see what psionic abilities we got here. Choose psionic modes. Yeah, it doesn't really matter because these only apply if we're fighting an actual psionic. Okay, let me see who was second. It was Mr. Spock. Ron says, so how was the process of making this mod? Once you got the ball rolling, did it all flow nicely? Yeah, this is kind of going to be nitpicky. It's not a mod. This is a rewrite. This is source code decompiled from the original games, converted to C#. This is a Windows application that I took the decompiled source code that someone else had done, which was the straight translation, and I've built on top of that. So this isn't a mod. It's its own source code rebuilt from scratch in a totally different language and runs on Windows. So yeah, it took me a while to understand what SSI was doing with a lot of stuff. So they had some pretty weird code. I've refactored almost all their code and have built my own engine from it. So that's why I call it the DFortae Remasters. So yeah, I can do Anything I want. So let me see here. This is going to be Mr. Spock. That icon looks fine to me. Let's see what psionic abilities you got. Detection of good and evil, really? Oh. That's about the weakest one we could get. Can't help yourself with puns? Yeah, nothing wrong with that. We need some good pun placement in the stream. Mr. Spock says I have 19 on comm for my fighter off a random roll and pool. Throwaway stat, I guess. Yeah, if you're not an illusionist, it's not going to have that big of an impact. Mystic says their website where I can see your work. If you go, you can download, you can see all the stuff about this on my Discord channel, Mystic. I have a YouTube channel, just search for it, called DFortae Game Reviews. Find one of the videos in the comment area, description of the video, it'll have a link to my Discord. So just click on that and you can go to there. I have Discord channels for all the mods I've created, and I post updates of all these remasters and things on there, and you can download all my mods and stuff from there. We're not keeping that. Chaotic Evil again. Oh, thanks, Mr. Spock. Ron says, I see Sonic Blast is overpowered in this game too, like Wizardry 8. Wonder if you can use it through walls. No, you can't, and it's not overpowered. Depending on the intelligence of the enemy, that makes a big difference. If you're fighting low intelligence enemies, it can be very strong. But the thing you got to keep in mind is if you do run into a psionic enemy, which does happen occasionally, they can kill your psionic pretty quickly if their psionic power is higher than yours. I've had it happen to me before, but only humans, dwarves, and halflings can potentially have psionic ability. Yeah, that's the thing to always keep in mind about this, is others can use things against you. The computer. I've greatly increased the intelligence of the AI in the game. And I plan on making an option in the future where the AI is super smart. It's going to really make smart, intelligent, tactical decisions against you. That'll be disabled by default. Oh man, look at that psionic power, but the dexterity is too terrible. I can't take it. Is tower defense a psionic ability? Called a psionic mode. There's some weird terminology. Modes are only applicable to against or to other psionics, except for Psionic Blast. If you have 100 psionic points in attack or defense strength combined, you can apply Psionic Blast to non-psionics. And then you have what's called disciplines. The psionic disciplines are similar to spells. Think of them that way. But Tower of Defense and all those things only work if another psionic attacks you. It has happened. I've had it probably happen all the times I've played through these. I think I've had it happen maybe 6 or 7 times. And it's any class. Class is irrelevant for getting Sonic abilities. Sometimes it'll be a fighter that uses it on me. Sometimes it could be a cleric. Okay, I am going to try this one. We'll see what ability he got. Body weaponry and expansion. We're keeping this. So expansion, think of it as it's like enlarge. And body weaponry will allow you to, depending on your level, change your body into like armor and weapons. So like your arm can become a spear, can become a sword, that kind of stuff. So these will be pretty cool for a thief. Especially expansion, since he only has 14 strength. That's going to be useful. 18 intelligence is nice too. Okay, cool. Let's do a dwarf. So we have evil, neutral. Let's make him lawful evil. Let's do some dual wielding. Ron says, what do you think was the most interesting element you added that you really liked or felt like it added so much to the game? Oh man, that's a really hard question to answer. It's a good question. I'm thinking about it. I feel like all the new spells, because of the new classes, like Druid, Illusionist, the higher level Cleric and Mage spells, that's one. Alignment, you can enable alignment conditions so that it actually means something. That's another. And then Psionic ability. That's a third. Those are probably the major ones. I've added in a bunch of other items too. Magic items, which can help. I implemented treasure experience, which reminds me I need to turn that on. So Gary Gygax intended for you to have to earn your experience by taking items back and selling them. So that's what we're going to enable. I'm also going to enable economy adjustments. So we're going to get a lot less money. Item damage, that's a really cool thing I implemented. I'm turning that on. Let's see. I did implement movement segment interruption, which, trying to think how to explain it. You're not supposed to be able to run your full distance and then still do your action. It's supposed to kind of be simultaneous with other things happening. So if you start moving, you can only move 2 or 3 steps, and then your turn's supposed to get interrupted, and then the enemy, the next person in line, gets to go. And so you're kind of moving like this. So that's an option you can turn on. It's off by default. But that's something that can drastically impact the game. Let me see here. Randomized set treasure finds. I'm turning that on. Let's see here. Intelligence spell limitations. I'll turn it on, but it doesn't really matter because we're not doing any casters. Height and weight limitations is on. Okay, that's all I want to turn on, I think. I have gaze adjustments on and some other things, which is good. Mr. Spock says, I was in a tavern brawl. A couple of guys were using tower defense, so I was confused. They used tower defense without you using Sonic ability on them? Are you sure it was tower defense? and that they weren't, because the defenses should only be used if you apply a psionic ability towards someone. Ron says, I hope you added even more pole arms. I did. I added in the lance, harpoon. Harpoon isn't really a pole arm, but it is in the book. I've added in the knife, which isn't a pole arm, of course, but it's a missing weapon. Hoopak, that was only in the Dragonlance, but you can get it in the Forgotten Realms too. Seems like there was another one. Mystic Thirds says, gasp, the dreaded polearms chart. They were using it on each other and an ally of me and a foe, Mr. Spock says. Oh, okay. They were probably using disciplines on each other. Like, yeah. And if you had psionic ability and they used it on you, and then you counterattacked, I don't know if you had any psionics, but if you did a counterattack, that would cause them to use Tower of Defense. You'll be presented with an option that says like auto, yes, no, at the bottom of the screen. I don't know if that was what happened to you, Mr. Spock, or not. So Thieves can actually use all types of scrolls once they reach level 9, except Cleric. So they can use Druid, Magic User, and Illusionist scrolls once they get to level 9. So I'm really looking forward to that. So we will be able to use all kinds of spells. We'll do scroll hunting. Plus, with these psionic abilities, they should be pretty dang powerful. Mr. Spock says, I don't have any psionic. They were fighting each other. Oh, okay. You were in a brawl. Some were on your side, some were on the enemy side. That's what was going on there. Yep. Yeah, if you were in a tavern and you get in a brawl, some are on your side and some are on the other side. It kept making pew pew noises back and forth, yeah. It's like Pong. That's pretty cool that that happened to you. Yeah, the way it works is there's 10 in one segment of combat, which there's 10 segments per round. 10 psionic attacks back and forth can happen. That's how quickly psionics do their thing. So that's why it goes, and it keeps going back and forth. And what happens is each time the psionic defense goes down for each one as they're using a psionic attack on each other. And essentially whoever runs out of psionic points first will start taking damage or real effects on themselves when they get hit by psionic attacks. Like you can become comatose, you can get killed, you can go insane. All kinds of bad things start to happen. Mystic says, Thieves using scrolls, magic items is such a cool ability. Yeah, it definitely makes them useful. See, and in the SSI games, you could only use magic user scrolls, which put a huge limitation on them. And that's because all they had was cleric and magic user spells. But since I've implemented all the druid and illusionist spells, now the Thieves are actually useful once they hit level 9. They'll have a huge selection to work from. So we're going to save all kinds of scrolls. And we're going to protect them in like leather scroll cases and stuff because I do have item damage turned on. And we're doing an Iron Man run, so there's no saves coming. Which is why this is so important that we get some good characters created here. Mr. Spock says, yeah, I just thought it was cool. Yeah, I was probably like, what the heck is going on here? Ron says, how did you deal with the internal memory issues with adding new elements to the game? Or is that not a thing anymore with how you did your process? Yeah, it's not a thing. Since this is just a regular Windows program written in C#, I have no... I had to expand their engine. I had to change a bunch of their internal data structures. So I did all that. And once I completed that, I don't have any limitations pretty much. Oh, 15 decks is so bad. I am going to see... I'm going to take this just to see what psionic abilities we get, because we do have Psionic Blast. So even with a bad armor class, this might work out okay. So let me see who is next. Duncan. Duncan. Okay, that looks cool to me. Let's see what psionic abilities he got. What? He got the same? He got body weaponry and expansion, just like Mr. Spock. Wow, that's so weird. Okay, we'll keep him because he has Psionic Blast with 107 points. 15 dex isn't that bad when the max is only 17. Yeah, it's basically a 10% greater chance to get hit. How bad was the code, or was it fairly well written, Ron says? It was bad, but you got to consider the time when it was made. Back then, they didn't know how to make really modular code. So it is, I would say it was typical for programming back then. Yeah, we kind of got scammed, Duncan, but kind of not, because those are good abilities. So I'm not disappointed, but okay, let's do another halfling. Caddic neutral. This one's going to do flasks of oil. And I better get a weapon to use too. Short sword in case we find a magic one. Ham says sluggish thief sounds like a Duncan. 14 dex again. He does have 100 psionic ability. Okay, let me check it. Sonic Blast. These I don't care about that much. Okay, who is next? Looks like it was Lemonhead ST. We had Saztam. Ron says Sluggish Thief sounds like a band name. Let's pick a different icon here. Let's go to category. Oh, this is female. We don't want that. Category of short. Here we go. That could be a thief. We'll pick this one. See what he got. Ah, detection of good and evil, and really expansion again? No, we're not doing that. Come on. What's the deal with expansion? Oh man, this is pretty darn good. 138, 19 cons, 16 dicks. Okay, here we go again. Short. Okay, so he doesn't have any that can be displayed right here for usage, but that may not be a bad thing. We won't know until we start the game, so we're gonna keep him. It's only gonna show the ones that you could actually use that aren't necessarily passive. So we'll keep it. Says, time to make a song then. Ron says, do you have any other gaming projects planned with your retirement time, or just going to enjoy yourself? Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I still have my game I'm working on once I get through remastering all these. Forteverse. I'll be working on that for years. Just I'll release it, people will be able to play for years, and I'll just keep enhancing it. That's going to be a gigantic game going on forever. Okay, let's see. And then I'll probably actually do some tabletop first edition AD&D. Be a dungeon master. Let's see here. When I say tabletop, it'll still be online, but it'll be I'll just do tabletop DMing. Okay, what do we want for this guy? Let's get a short bow, composite short bow. We'll just have a double bow for him. Hey, Zombo, welcome in. How are you doing? Happy Saturday. It's already Sunday for 18 minutes past midnight. Oh, I missed something else. Ham says DFortae is filling up the ditch with misfits. Yeah, this will be an interesting run. We'll see how it goes. You've been working on your own project for several months now, Ron? Cool. What is it? Ham says, I am glad the different time zones are all in hours and not also separated into minutes as well. Oh yeah, that would be a pain. Time zones are a pain, aren't they? Ron says it's a historical photo mod for a hockey simulation game I have. I'm adding pictures for all the players and executives in the game. Oh, cool. I know you're a huge hockey fan. Is that just for you personally, or is this something that you plan to sell or release for like general public consumption? Going from 1909 to 1969, so I'm doing 60 years of photos, including my great uncles. Oh wow, cool. You'd be releasing it to the community? Nice. Since a lot of other fans are going to enjoy the historical photos. Yeah, that's cool. Well, let's see what we get here. We got another Sonic Blast potential. Okay, who is fifth? Tim Coolish. Alright, let's find a good thief icon here. That's cool. We'll pick this one. Body weaponry and detect good evil. Really? Oh my gosh. Drop. I think I picked the lawful evil. We're on character 5. Hey, Toothless, welcome in. How are you doing? Ron says if they want to donate to help me get some more photos, they can, but not required. Yeah, that's cool. 13 decks. I can't do it. Toothless says, what are good Sonics to look for other than invisibility? Invisibility, obviously. Yeah, and invisibility is not the same as regular invisibility. It causes enemies to specifically not be able to see that character in combat. So you can't use it ahead of combat, for example. So it's different, but it's... And it can actually, in some ways, be better than regular invisibility because it keeps working against them. But in other ways, it's disadvantage too. There's all kinds. There's a healing one, which I would really love to get. There's some where you can cause the enemy to heat up. There's even some to convert metals, so you can actually make some money. Like you can convert silver to platinum, even like mithril pieces and stuff. I wouldn't say that one's super useful, but let's see. There's a dimension door type ability. That one's super useful, especially for these thieves. That would be excellent. Detect magic would be useful since I don't have the spell. What else? What's it called? Energy control is amazing because it'll auto activate. It'll ask you if you want to activate it when you get hit with spells and things, and it can absorb the damage. That's probably one of the better ones. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of really useful ones. You had one Sonic with it, and it's still great. Reduce is good too because you can make yourself really small and your armor class will become super low. Ron says, but I am at 1964 currently, so you're almost there. Oh, cool. Yes, molecular agitation, I think, is the one that heats enemies up. Yeah. It has a really long range, and it works great against enemies that have a lot of hit points. You can heat up their flesh, or you can actually heat up their weapons and stuff and cause damage to their weapons and armor, cause them to drop them and things. Oh man, this is good, good, good. I don't like having that many modes. The more modes you have, the less disciplines you're going to have. Okay, so this is Tim again. Reduction. There we go. That'll allow him to have a really low armor class. His strength will drop drastically, but it's good to have a really low armor class. What does heating up the enemies do? It does damage each round. Like, it exponentially goes up. Like 2 damage, 3 damage the next round, 4 damage the next round, and so forth. So if you have a really long battle, it'll end up causing tremendous damage over time. Okay, we got one more thief to do. Let's do one more dwarf. Actually, I kind of want to do a female, because there is a part in some of the games where females, that you could have a female. Let's do neutral evil. Okay, so I need some other proficiencies here that I haven't picked yet. Let's do a sling. We'll get more later, so we'll do longsword to start with. Toothless says my Sonic had 127 and it took forever to show up. Yeah, it's not easy. There's a 12. 100's the magic number, because then you can do Sonic blasts on non-Psionic enemies. But disciplines, a lot of the disciplines don't use up that much Psionic power. So you can still have pretty low points and still get good use out of them. And like I said, there may be more that aren't showing up in the lists because they're passive. Plus, as we gain levels, potentially more will show up. We're going to have some major backstab capabilities. Psionic blasts, how they work exactly? If you have 100 psionic points, you can target non-psionics and it'll actually hurt them. Like, it causes conditions. It doesn't do damage, but it can cause them to fall asleep, fall into a coma. It can even kill some things outright if they have low intelligence. If you don't have 100 points, it does nothing unless you attack someone that happens to be a psionic. And it basically works in a cone. It shoots out in a cone. And you cannot do friendly fire with it. So you're not going to hit your own guys, which is nice. But the range of types of conditions it can do is quite varied. Intelligence and wisdom impacts it, as well as the level of the monster. 12 dex, can't do it. But in general, it's the intelligence and wisdom that makes the biggest difference. Low intelligence, and you're probably going to kill them. And I think it uses 20 points at a time when you use it. You can confuse enemies, which is great, because then sometimes they'll go berserk and attack each other. Oh, but yeah, some of the other good psionic abilities is domination and mass domination. That'll allow you to actually control the enemy, or you can control them like they're a player character. That's one of the better ones too. It doesn't last super long, but it's definitely good enough. Control a Medusa or something. You didn't know about the friendly fire? Did check the table of psionics and the Eldritch Wizardry, and yeah, lots of possible effects. Oh, that's probably totally different. Than first edition AD&D. Is Psionic Blast from that table the only one that allows you to attack non-psionics? Yes. Well, with a psionic mode. But no, there's psionic disciplines you can get where you can attack enemies. But as far as psionic modes, yes. And then there's a mode called ID Insinuation. That allows you to control the enemy like a robot, but that only works on psionics, and that'll only work if you get their defense down past 0. Then if you use ID Insinuation, you can potentially control them. But like I said, there's disciplines that also do that. Domination and mass domination. Sure thing. There's so many, and I implemented most of the psionic disciplines. I don't even remember what they all are. There's a few I still need to implement, like telekinesis. I have it where you can get it, but it doesn't do anything. I do plan on implementing them. This is the last character, and then we can actually play. Ron says, this sounds so complicated. I wonder if anyone actually used it in tabletop, hence why I asked. I don't think a lot of people do, Ron. It is very complicated. Once you understand it, it's not as complicated. But trying to get someone to understand it, it is. Well, and the computer will handle all the rolls and everything for you, because there is quite a bit of rolling and things you do for psionic attack modes and things. Come on, we just need one more here. This isn't bad. Let's try it. Okay. So who is last? Next, I should say. It looks like Ham. Looks cool to me. Okay, so she might have a passive ability here because I'm hitting Psi and I'm not seeing anything. That's fine. Let's see what happens here. Begin. Good old roll. I'm actually going to speed up messaging here so it's not as slow. We can fly through his tour. Okay, cool. If we can see any of them here. And Mystic's the only one that doesn't have psionic ability, but his attributes are just so good. I couldn't pass it up. I want to turn on enhanced map too. Hold on. Let's see here. There we go. Now we can see where all the doors are. Save it. Toothless says, I had bad luck with my psionic monk. He has 127 psi, but no disciplines yet. Only psionic blast, molecular agitation, a few defenses. Well, molecular agitation is a discipline. But psionic blast is a psionic mode. Okay, let's take a look at our proficiencies here. Dagger and broadsword. That's easy. Dagger, and we'll do studded leather. Mr. Spock. Oh yeah, here's how we can see our sonic powers. So he has telepathic projection. Trying to remember. That might allow us to move quickly. I'll have to remember what that does. Let's see here. Longsword and poison. We're going to be dual wielding here, since thieves can't use shields. So they're all going to get daggers. So what does he have? Precognition. So that allows you outside combat, like outside rooms, you can potentially use that to sense that something's in there. That's good for first time players, but since I know the games fairly well, I'm not going to be using that. Oh, was that a typo, Sestam? Was it telepathic? Let me look. I'm not sure. I think, no, this is correct. Telepathic is for like telemetry. I believe this is for being able to project yourself through some of the planes. Because yeah, it does look like a typo, but it's not. It's like telemetry. Pathic. It's a weird one. But yeah, that was a good catch that you saw that. Okay, so for him, dagger and longsword. Toothless says, I don't have a major discipline. I remember it says none. Oh, okay, yeah. So the major disciplines, you get less of them. Like you could get more of the regular disciplines, the minor ones. Or you could get, either more or less minor disciplines or less major disciplines. Duncan says, trying to make DFortae, think it was a typo. I did think for a second, then I realized, yeah, I think that's the one. Because I remember thinking something similar. And I'm like, is that really how it's spelled? And it is, but I think it's still related to telemetry. Okay, mind over body and body equilibrium. Okay, so body equilibrium will allow us to potentially avoid some trap damage, like poison gas and things like that. Fire-related stuff, like the noxious fumes in the graveyard, for example. So that's not too bad. The mind over body, I'm not sure anything's implemented with that one. I can't remember. Alright, so we need short sword. I'm not going to dual wield. This guy has sensitivity to psychic impressions. So that's used outside of combat, similar to the other one, where you can sense that there's going to be something. that there used to be something in the room. So that's not that useful. But reduction's good. We can use that in combination with this short bow. We should have a pretty darn low armor class. What was the other? Daggers. So we'll get 2 daggers. Short bow. Bunch of arrows. Finally, Hom. He has invisibility. Oh, and animal telepathy is useful. We can actually potentially avoid some random combat with this, which will be useful in the overhead map in this game. And this one, I already had it, so that's a bummer. So we don't have healing, which sucks. The only other thing we could try to do is if we created another one with Mystic. We could do it, make one more attempt with him because he has no ability. I'd love to get healing. What does he have for his broadsword and dagger? Let's try it. Toothless says mind over body and body equilibrium. Sounds like something a monk should have. Yeah. I guess I can take less than 100. $16 dex, 17 strength. Okay, let's see what he gets. Okay, that's a good sign, only getting 2 of those. Pool, Mystic. Let's see what he has. Invisibility, empathy, clairaudience. He has telepathic. No, we're not doing that. I don't want the same as the others. Wow. Okay, here we go. Only 4 hit points. Only 1 psionic tech mode. That's a good sign. That means we're going to get more disciplines. I'm going to say Mystic 2. Let's see what we got. Really? That's terrible. Precognition and sensitivity to psychic expressions again. Okay, let's add in this one so I can get rid of them. So I can use the proper name. We're getting scammed. Time for your last drink, hum? Alright. Duncan says Mystic has been dropped. Party is ashamed. No, 14 decks, can't do it. We're gonna get you Thurge. Okay, let's check this out. Oh, he's got a lot of modes. That's not good. But all we need is one really good discipline. No. No good. Scam City. So the key will be trying to get all these guys to level 9. Alright, we'll try this. Body equilibrium, detection of good or evil. Ugh. Nope. Duncan says the party has been created. Time to end the stream. Yeah, really. I'm being extra picky because I'm going through all 5 games potentially Iron Man with only Thieves. And Thieves are quite hard to be successful with without psionic ability. Mainly because of the armor class and just lack of hit points, lack of magic ability. Wouldn't have to be this picky with fighters, rangers, paladins, whatever. Tim says, no thieves fireballs to save the day, lol. We can use wands if we find some. Some wands, not all of them. There's some that only magic users and illusionists can use. But we will use some wands. Toothless says, I see now. My monk has molecular agitation and object reading. What does object reading do? That's similar to all the psychic type ones that you use outside of combat. An example where that would work is the exploding rune in Curse of the Azure Bonds. There's a place where it'll say, there's a thing that says how to avoid tower traps. The object reading will apply to something like that. So it's kind of an adventuring ability, not very useful. I do plan on making those things more useful in combat, or I mean, in all the games. Over time, I'll try to maximize them so they can be somewhat useful. Tim says, I was thinking of wands right after I typed that. Still exciting though. Yeah. Yep. I really should get someone with a club too, in case, because we do want some blunt weapons. You can't backstab with that, but there's some enemies, like skeletons that take more damage from blunt weapons. Plus you can throw clubs. Alright, let's try this one. This was Hom Addict. Oh no, this wasn't. Okay, this is a problem. Modify. I'm gonna have to temporarily rename Hom Addict. And then add this guy and rename him. This is Mystic. Keep. There we go. Keep. Okay. Let's see what he got. Body, weaponry, and clairvoyance. Ugh. That sucks, guys. I'm not doing it. I want something different. Ham says, well, I have a clone. Maybe it will be my stand-in? Something like Dimension Door, or there's another one for healing. Cell. I think it's called Cell something. Or even molecular agitation. Just something. Alright, here we go. Wow, we're stuck in a groove. Expansion and clairaudience. Come on. The needle's stuck in a groove. Can't be wrong to have a body double, huh? The Hom clone. To this is a question. Are magic arrows not supposed to damage undead, like wights or specters anymore? No, it should damage them. Are you using a regular bow? Because it's probably a bug. It's probably using the bow's quality instead of the arrow. Regular bow, yeah, that's a bug. Let me make a note. using bows magic plus instead of arrows. That'll be easy to fix. Yeah, you found another bug. Like, it's supposed to be that way for a magic sling, for example. Sling +1, since it doesn't use a projectile that is magical, it uses the slings. And it's probably doing the same thing for the bow. Oh, come on. Cellular adjustment or cell adjustment. That would be excellent. That's a healing ability. It'd just be so unlikely to get it. $32, that's so low. Alright, here we go. Let's try it. Not a good sign, though. Probability travel. Okay, that allows us to travel quickly. Ooh, we got hypnosis and levitation. Telekinesis, body weaponry. Okay. So hypnosis is actually pretty good. Levitation, Alright, we'll keep this. Alright. So we need to get him his stuff again. On a broadsword, dagger, studded leather. Oh, we didn't get Hamatic, his stuff. Longsword and sling. Okay, here we go. Let's get a fight in. Let's see what the computer thinks. Let's do a sonic blast right out of the gate. Didn't work on him. I wonder if I broke something, because it should have impacted some of them. Let's do expansion. Let's see what her strength is. 14. Duration rounds, we'll do 5. Hypnosis. Body weaponry. Let's see if it changed his armor class. Nope. reduction. Armor class 4, let's see what ends up being. Should change. Strength went from 14 to 15. Okay, at level 1 that doesn't impact as much. So this one can't see these two can. Did you use body weaponry? Who used that? Oh, he's expansion. Strength 17. Didn't work. Wrong size. He can't use the short bow. Oh yeah, it's because he's reduced. Didn't reduce him enough to affect his armor class though. Okay, 5 potential experience and items. So we need to take all this stuff back and sell it. I have item experience enabled, which is why I need to do that. You may have found out the bug. Your psionic monk with 18 dex seems to always come last during the combat rounds. Yeah, it's because he's using a heavy crossbow. Go look at the speed factor. You can look at, if you go into the Analyze menu here, see down here it says speed factor delay width. It's 5 segments for a longsword. Heavy crossbow is super high speed factor. That's what's causing that. It's the same way with dual wielding. If you dual wield, you got the dagger speed factor or hand axe, whichever one is in your offhand, added to the other weapon. Alright, let's go to the inn. Rest the old-fashioned way. Get a backstab in. Missed with a backstab, really. Dual wielding for the win. 46 experience and items. So that's going to be this cleric scroll, which we're going to sell because we won't be able to use that later anyway. Thieves. Can't use cleric scrolls. We'll have to try out the new duel too. I've made it where it randomizes your opponent. Their class, their race, everything gets randomized. So there's 40 experience right here in this scroll. Okay. Let's look at our experience. 77, 71. Oh, it's so bad. Let's go do a duel. Mr. Spock. Oh, we took 5 damage immediately. I have no idea what this guy is. He has a dagger, 8 hit points, 5 armor class. Yeah. 100 experience for Mr. Spock. Duncan says, no bag of excited spice or exotic spices? Feels bad, man. Speed factor delay for the heavy crossbows 18 segments. Yeah. Technically, you're only supposed to shoot a heavy crossbow once every other round. But I made it once a round. Because it really doesn't do a huge amount of damage. I just set the speed factor super high. Hey, Stabby Road Games, welcome in. How are you doing? Okay, let's go get some more magic treasure here. Here's a leather bag. 90 experience and items. Let's see what we got. A rug, a gold scabbard, wooden harp, silk pillow, iron brazier, short bow, and 20 arrows. Okay, who got the short bow? It's Tim. They go of 17 with that. Yeah, that's sweet. And these plus arrows we're going to keep. Alright, this stuff will sell. Backstab. You're doing well, glad to hear that. You're excited to finally catch a stream. Cool. I'm doing well, thanks for asking. We're doing an all rogue, all thief party with psionic abilities. Iron Man, we're going to try to play through all 5 games. Treasure room. Holy moly. 4,600 gold. Can we even pick all that up? We can. Composite short bow. Did I have that with someone else? I don't think I do. Nope. Deep pile woolen carpet. Silver urn, exotic pearls. Okay. Yes, it's all rogue, Stabby. He says, those are my people. Mystic says, will you export characters from game to game? Yes. Absolutely. All those games we're going to transfer if we can survive. That's a big if, because this is going to be very, very difficult. $20 gold, 1 experience. 50 gold, 4 experience. Okay. Get a tiny bit out of these. Okay, that one is worth a lot of money. So the arrows give to... Is it Tim? Yeah. Stabby says, oh man, look at those hit point totals. I love it. Yeah, and I have all the difficult modes enabled too. Like item experience like this, so we have to haul things back and decide if we want to sell them. Otherwise you don't get the experience for the items. This I'm going to keep, the leather scroll case. Once I start to find scrolls, that'll help protect them a bit. All these items we're just for sure selling. Okay. 251 platinum, 5,000 gold. We're going to go store that in the vault. Let's just withdraw the platinum for now. Leave the rest in the vault. Okay, I do want to get some flasks of oil. Who was that? Saztown. We're getting close to a level up. Five experience. Healthy looking goblins instructing a group of young warriors. Okay. Destroyed his shield. Nice. Hmm. 74 experience in items. Okay. Allow him to flee. Yes. Alright, so something here must be magical. I think it's leather armor, maybe. Yeah, there it is. Plus leather armor could actually be nice for this party. Give us more movement. Although I should give it to someone that has more strength. Let's give it to Mystic. Yeah, then he can have 12 movement. Put him in position 2. Okay, so there's some bracers over here, which is going to be really useful, but also give us a ton of experience. Oh, destroyed his dagger. Ooh, Mystic goes down. Jeez. Mr. Spock goes down. Bandage. Tried Sonic Blast. I think it's bugged. I think I need to fix something. Yeah, I need to fix something. His ability's not going to help that much. Ouch. Ouch. Jeez. This is going to be a party wipe. They're hitting us like crazy with our bad armor class. If our psionic abilities worked, we would have no problem, but it's bugged. I'll have to fix that offline. He's doomed. These kobolds ain't got no respect, Stabby Rogue says. Yeah. What I'll probably do is I'll fix this offline and then we'll just reload from the last save game the next time I play. Because it's not that we lost due to legitimate reasons, it's that we had a bug. None of the psionic abilities are really working. There goes Az. I might debug it right now. Let me take a look. I can do a sonic blast and see what's happening. Just getting a fight here. Then I can see what's going on. Okay, you can't do it. You can. Yeah, it has 0 targets. Okay. Let me see where it's getting those. We'll let that one go through and then we'll do another one here. Okay. Okay, let's see if I do here, if it'll bring him through. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So let's do one more here. Okay. Targets is true. Let's see. That should fix that. All right. Let's see if it's fixed now. Yep. Yeah, now we actually can kill things. We realize the power of the psionic ability on the thieves. Perfect. Always good to fix on the fly. Alright guys, that'll be a good place to save it. And the next time our ability will actually work. So we'll be able to actually put our plan in place to do well with the thieves. Alright everyone, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.